Hi everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're having a fabulous day. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm so excited to have you. Today's video, I'm gonna go ahead and give you my thoughts and review on the Snoo. $1,600 for a bassinet. Is this freaking worth it? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what I think, and I'm here to give you some tips on how to save money with the Snoo if that is the option you are going towards. And without further ado, let's get to the review. All my first-time parents and parents in general, I'm sure you know and you've heard of this product everywhere on the internet. And first of all, it's really just a bassinet. And if you're a first-time parent, you know that a bassinet is going to be crucial for the first few months of your baby's life. I knew that I would be super tired, and waking up every hour or two to feed baby would be exhausting. My husband and I opted in to buy the Snoo bassinet, and it is a super techy bassinet. And with that being said, it comes with a hefty price tag. First and foremost, why is it so expensive? It is all controlled through their actual app, the Snoo, and it is Bluetooth. And all of it is essentially super techy, so that when you put baby in, baby starts to cry, get fussy, the Snoo will essentially lightly soothe them and rock them to sleep. There's a lot of customization when it comes to how often the Snoo will actually soothe your baby. Increase the sensitivity. There we go, that was a hard word. You can increase the sensitivity on the actual app itself to say you want the Snoo as soon as baby starts to fuss, that the Snoo will start to rock your baby. Or you can decrease the sensitivity so that way baby is not so dependent on the Snoo to rock them to sleep. So you do have that power in the app to go ahead and change it, and as well as the noise level, because when the Snoo is on, the Snoo itself will provide white noise inside the bassinet itself. So you can increase the volume of that white noise or decrease the volume to your liking. Now the Snoo, if you buy it directly off their website, it is a whopping $1,600. It does come with a thicker swaddle that is good for the colder months, which an asterisk there. We did not have that option when we had the Snoo. It's definitely something that I wish we had for ourselves when we had the Snoo for my son, because during the winter months I was definitely very concerned about if he was warm enough, because you can't put a blanket in there. You can't put anything in there. The Snoo will only work with the happiest babies' swaddles themselves. So I'm glad that they came out with something like that. They're small, medium, and large, depending on baby's weight. So once baby gets to a certain weight, you're gonna wanna go ahead and change the sleep sack to accommodate that. Because what I noticed is once baby got to a certain weight, obviously have different developmental milestones, that they're just gonna wanna either have their hands out or their hands in. The cool thing about the Snoo swaddles is that there are different buttons on the arms and that you can either clasp together, and you can have baby's arms be tucked in so they're like a little burrito, or you can unclasp them and baby's arms can be out, or you can do one arm in, one arm out, however your baby prefers to sleep, which I thought was really cool because my son really liked to have his arms out. He did not like having his arms in like a burrito, so it's not either or. You can decide for yourself. What I loved about the Snoo is that I definitely think it helped gain us some sleep. It definitely helped us with baby when he was super fussy and just you were so tired of rocking, and there was only so much that you can do, that putting him in the bassinet itself was really good, and it actually soothed him, and I think he really enjoyed it. He really had a great time with this Snoo. There is breathable mesh walls that are easy for baby to breathe throughout the night. It would send you sleep insights on your baby. In the app itself, you would get tips based on baby's developmental milestones. So it'll be like, hey, your baby is 3 months today. This is what you can kind of look forward to. Here are some tips that we've gotten from our community that are helpful. So I think it's just nice to get as much information from different sources as possible, and you can make your own adjustments for your own child, because as a parent, you know your baby the best. So a few things I wasn't a big fond of when we actually use the Snoo itself. One was the app itself. I felt like took forever to load. I feel like every single time I needed to put baby in the Snoo for nighttime sleeping, I would try and start it at least like 2 minutes, 3 minutes before I would actually put baby in the Snoo. The only way to really turn it on and off, there's one of two ways. One, you can use the app itself to get it turned on, and that's what I would do because I already had the swaddle inside with the clips engaged into the Snoo ready to go. So that way when I got there, it was already rocking, so that way I can put baby and baby is not worried about transferring from mama to the Snoo because it was continuously rocking. So in his mind, I thought it was like tricking him, like, oh, you're constantly being rocked, I'm here. So I would try and start the Snoo before I would put him in. The app always took a really long time for me. So when that wasn't working, I would just use the actual power on off button on the Snoo itself, and then I would put baby in. And that's just kind of a workaround, but because you use the app for almost everything of the Snoo, I found that part to be a little annoying, that the app just wasn't loading properly, and I constantly was like updating it in the app store, so I know I had the most current and up-to-date one. The other thing that I wasn't a big fond of with the Snoo is that sometimes during the night when baby was sleeping, like when he was getting a little bit more fussier and he was a little bigger, that he can actually like start to move or roll around. He would always sleep with his arms out, that sometimes the clips itself would disengage. Those would sometimes come out in the middle of the night, and that means that it will abruptly stop your Snoo without really giving you any real information. Now there won't be a big noise that shows you like, oh my god, they're disengaged, but it will tell you in the app. And if you sometimes are trying to put baby in the Snoo and the clips are not engaged with where they need to be, the power button on the Snoo will just flash on and on and off, and that's how you know that those were disengaged, which is kind of misleading because if you're not looking at the app at the exact moment when that happens and you're just there trying to turn on the start button and it's just flashing, for the first few times I was like, oh my goodness, like this thing broke, like this is a joke. Then I realized it's because the clips weren't engaged, so I wish there was a little bit more clarity on the Snoo itself versus just in the app. The other not so cool thing, or just something to keep in mind when you do have something that is very tech forward, is that it does rely on power. Now you're probably thinking, there, of course you know that, you have to plug it in. But if you experience a lot of power outages like we did over here in the Bay Area, we had a power outage for 5 days, and that is a long time for a baby. When a baby is used to white noise and he's used to being soothed via his Snoo, that does become a problem because there is no workaround behind it. It's not like you can unplug it. It has battery reserve to continue rocking and taking care of your baby. So once the power is out, that is something that you're gonna have to think about. And why I love that the app would send you tips and recommendations or reminders of certain things. The one that comes to mind is a reminder that says, hey, your baby's 6 months, it's time to start weaning them off the Snoo, and it will only rock them when they were absolutely losing their mind. They were absolutely losing their, you know. So then it would trigger and start to rock them again, but it would only play the white noise. As we were weaning him, there were a few times where he was just at the beginning, of course, like confused as to why he wasn't being rocked. Like I think he knew he was just like there, right? He's kind of like. So when he would lose his shit, just start crying and crying, like screaming, it wouldn't actually start. So say keep an eye out. And would I say that the actual weaning part of the app helped? It's too early to say, I guess. Our son has been in his crib at 6.5 months, and now he's 9 months, and we are going through so many changes with him constantly that he still likes to be rocked to sleep. As you can see, I've been holding him and slowly rocking him because he enjoys that. I can't say that that's a part of the Snoo's fault or that's just him, you know, like I can't wholeheartedly say, well, if if we didn't have the Snoo and he wasn't used to being constantly rocked, like that he would not want to be rocked now. I would definitely say it made it a little bit more difficult for him and us as parents to put him in his crib, because he was, for a lack of nice way of saying it, like strapped in with the swaddle, you know, like, whereas when he was going in his crib, he would start to roll around, and a lot of different fears that you get when you do transition to a crib. Whereas like we didn't really have that problem with the Snoo, because like I said, for a lack of better way, like he was strapped in and we knew he wasn't going anywhere. And the other not so cool thing, you can't really store it easily. Like, you have to take the legs apart, which is totally fine, but the actual whole Snoo itself, you have to store it that way, and then you have to buy a duster for 15 bucks from the Happiest Baby separately to be able to store it, which is what we opted in for. But if you'd want the box, I would keep your Snoo box so that you don't have to go through that. And the other not so cool thing, it is hard to keep clean. You can't easily take the mesh panels apart to actually wash it himself, so that part is a little bit annoying. What I did like is that the mattress cover came separate. Again, more costs on you, but you can actually wash it with your clothes and it'll be completely fine. It is easy to put together, which is great. Now, the big question is, do I think the Snoo is worth it? If you're gonna ask me if I paid the full $1,600 for the Snoo, my answer is absolutely not. Because my biggest concern with spending that much money on a bassinet that baby would use for a limited amount of time, of max 6 months, well in our case 6.5 months, I would say no. However, what we did do is that we actually bought our Snoo off Facebook Marketplace, and we got it gently used. A lot of families do usually end up selling their Snoo gently used because babies are only going to use it for 6 months. Now, a lot of what we found while we were looking for Facebook Marketplace is that a lot of the times these parents were really only using the Snoo for 3 months. So to spend $1,600 on a Snoo or a bassinet that your baby's only going to use for 3 months seems a little ridiculous to me. So that's why we opted into a gently used bassinet, and the family that we bought ours from literally only used their Snoo for 3 months, and she was so awesome that she gave us all of the actual swaddles from the Snoo as well as the little mattress covers. So we absolutely really appreciated that, because all of that is not cheap and they do become expensive. So that would be my tip for you, is that if you are interested in buying the Snoo for your child but you do not want to spend that $1,600 price tag, go ahead and scour Facebook Marketplace. I'm sure there are a lot of families who are selling their Snoo, and you can get it at a better price. Now, my second tip, if you're interested in having the Snoo for your bassinet, the Happiest Baby itself, they actually have a rental program for you. So if you want to go ahead and try it out before you buy and see if it's worth it, they do have a rental program that you could use to save you some money on that as well. But when my husband and I did the math, it really wasn't mathing. Like, we would end up spending more on rental than just buying it brand new. And because we weren't gonna buy it brand new, we got it off Facebook Marketplace. So you do you, boo, whatever floats your boat. So I would say $1,600 for a bassinet, probably not. But to buy it secondhand through a Facebook Marketplace or something similar where you can save some money and it's in great condition, I would say yes. The only thing that you don't really get buying it gently used from another source and not their website directly is that, of course, you don't have the warranty, and that is a risk that you're gonna have to take. But we had a great experience with ours, and so I would not complain at all. I guess the question is, do I think it's worth it? It depends on what you value and what you would value as a parent. For a first-time mom and first time experiencing any of this, I say it was totally worth it, but it's also because I did not spend the full $1,600 on a brand new Snoo. If you would have told me I had a brand new Snoo and is it worth it, I would probably say no. However, It would be a good long-term investment if you plan on having more than one children like we do, and we plan on just reusing the Snoo. So we have it stored away. Again, it's not an easy feat to kind of store away. We have a small apartment and we use up a lot of space, storage space, with this little cutie pie. So I think in the long run, if you were to bought it new, I would say then yeah, it was a good investment, but at first use, no. But we did get a lot of use out of it. You got 6.5 months before you got a little too big. But overall, I would say I had a great experience with the Snoo, and I'm glad to have it and to be able to use it for the other babies. And who knows, maybe my other babies freaking hate this thing and it's pointless and I'll sell it. So if that happens, I'll come back here and tell you that. But thanks again for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and if you have any tips on future videos that you want to see, let me know and I would be happy to answer. And if you have any questions just in general about anything, leave your comment below and I will get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.